Today's lesson is Jeremy Renner, More Than One Way to Be a Hero. Hi, I'm Kiki.
I'm Mike.
Well, Mike, today we are going to be talking about a superhero that we might know on screen, and sometimes we'll see him as a superhero off screen.
Absolutely, yes. He is definitely one of the Marvel universe, one of the very well-known superheroes from that series of films. He also got attention for being in The Hurt Locker. That was probably the first movie I remember seeing him in. And The Bourne, he was in one of the Bourne movies as well. Not Matt Damon, the other Jason Bourne in one of those movies. And a very interesting life. I didn't know about some of his hobbies and pastimes. And he was also, unfortunately, in the news last year because of a terrible accident that he had that kind of shocked everyone and proved to be actually much more serious than at first we understood. Luckily, he is well on the road to recovery. He's back making movies. And so we're going to find out a lot more about Jeremy Renner, how there is more than one way to be a hero.
Okay, let's listen to the first part of today's lesson.
Jeremy Renner, More Than One Way to Be a Hero. According to a common saying, not all heroes wear capes. An equally apt statement is that not all heroes are invincible. Perhaps no one is more aware of these truths than Jeremy Renner, an actor who is best known for playing Hawkeye in the Marvel film franchise.
大家好，第一部分介绍形容词 apt， 它的意思是言语或是描述等适当、恰当的、贴切的或是中肯的。例如 The children decided that Spot was an apt name for the dog, given the many black spots on his fur. 考虑到这只狗的皮毛上有很多黑点，孩子们认为将它取名为斑点会是个贴切的名字。或者 Grace has an apt description for every story she wrote. Grace 对她所写的每个故事都有贴切的描述。接下来看到名词 franchise， 表示系列作品或是特许经营权。例如 Fans eagerly awaited the next installment in the popular film franchise. 粉丝们热切期待这个受欢迎的电影系列有下一部作品。或是 The author hinted at new books in the franchise, exciting fans worldwide. 作者暗示该系列将有新书面世，令全球粉丝激动不已。
Okay, so let's start by talking about the first part of our article. According to a common saying, not all heroes wear capes. What does that mean? Well, usually when we think about a superhero, they will generally be wearing a cape.
Yeah, Superman?
Yes.
Yep. Batman?
Yep.
Wonder Woman? No, not really. But a lot of superheroes do wear capes.
Right.
Maybe not so much in the modern time, but especially classic old superheroes. Batman and Robin. Robin also had a cape, didn't he?
But I remember one line from The Incredibles.
Okay.
Edna Mode says, no capes.
No capes, that's right. They're a fashion designer.
Yes.
She's kind of tired of capes, so that shows that they're from the past.
Right. Also because the superheroes with the capes kept getting hurt.
Oh, they kept catching on things.
Yes.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Okay, but we're not talking about that. Not all heroes wear capes doesn't mean that. In this case, not all heroes wear capes actually means that normal people like you and me, without superpowers, we can be heroes too.
Exactly. Or even you can be a person that's very unheroic looking and you can still be a hero. If you save someone from a fire and it turns out that it was a little old lady who went in and saved the people from the fire, you think, oh, I thought it would be a strong young man or something like that. Someone who can lift people up and carry them, but it turned out this old person did it. So not all heroes wear capes. Heroes don't always look like superheroes the way you would imagine it. Sometimes they can be very normal, average, everyday people, just like you and me. And it says an equally apt statement is that not all heroes are invincible. Okay, so not all heroes look heroic. And also a good statement, or an apt, an accurate, or true statement is that not all heroes are invincible. Not all heroes can never be hurt. You know, if you're invincible, it means you can never be hurt, you can never die. guy. Think of Superman. Think of Achilles, of course, from the old Greek myths, where he had almost like he was bulletproof or something like that. If you're invincible, you can't be hurt, you can't be beaten. You're kind of like that classic image of a superhero where nothing can hurt them. But an apt statement, or a very true, accurate, if something is apt, it's true, it's accurate, it fits the situation, it is relevant to the situation. Not all heroes are invincible. Heroes can be hurt. I mean, I remember in the 90s when I was younger, Superman died in the comics, and that was a shock to everyone. Superman dying? Impossible. Well, it happened in the comic books, and even in the real life, superheroes, or the actors who play them, they are just as human as you and me.
Perhaps no one is more aware of these truths than Jeremy Renner. So even though he plays a superhero, he knows that not all heroes are invincible. An actor who is best known for playing Hawkeye, Jeremy Renner, and of course Hawkeye is in the Marvel film franchise. So a lot of our younger listeners, you guys will know Jeremy Renner as the hero Hawkeye in Marvel, and we know that Marvel is a film franchise. So basically a franchise is a name that is given to a company that owns the rights to a lot of things. So, for example, McDonald's is a franchise. So you have the name McDonald's, and then they'll own all the little shops, all the McDonald's that you see. So it becomes a part of a group or a series of products that a company owns. So in this case, we know the Marvel film franchise, not only do they have movies, they also have animation, they also have TV series, all related to the superheroes under the Marvel brand.
Exactly. The Star Wars franchise, the Harry Potter franchise, one of the oldest, the James Bond 007 franchise, all these types of things. So different filmmakers stretching out over many different years, many different types of products and films, but all related and all controlled and owned by one company. And he was the guy with the bow and arrow, wasn't he?
Right, he was.
There you go.
Okay, well, since a lot of us know him as Hawkeye, you might not know he's actually done a lot of really amazing films before Marvel, okay? So let's listen to part 2 of our article.
Though he has portrayed Hawkeye for over a decade, first appearing as the character in 2011's Thor, Renner hasn't always played superheroes. In fact, the actor has more than 30 films to his name, not to mention numerous TV shows. Many of Renner's films, including hits like The Hurt Locker, The Bourne Legacy, and Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation, have showcased his ability to take on intense and action-packed roles. Others, however, such as Tag and American Hustle, have demonstrated that Renner also has a clear capacity for comedy.
第二部分看到动词 portray， 它的意思是饰演，也可以是描绘或是描写的意思。例如 Eugene will portray the title role in our school play Hamlet. Eugene 将在我们学校的戏剧《哈姆雷特》中扮演主角。也可以说 Henry Cavill has portrayed Superman in several films. Henry Cavill 在许多部电影中饰演过超人。再来介绍片语 to one's name， 表示属于自己所有或是在自己名下。我们可以说 Paul worked hard for decades and now has several properties to his name. Paul 努力工作了几十年，现在名下有几处房产。又或者说 At the age of 22, Rachel already has a published novel to her name. 在22岁时 Rachel 名下已有一本出版的小说。继续看到动词 showcase， 它的意思是充分展示。例如 Film festivals are a good way to showcase new talent. 电影节是展示新人才的好方法。又或者说 Students will have a chance to showcase their skills at the school talent show. 学生将会有机会在学校才艺表演中展示自己的技能。再来我们看到动词 demonstrate， 指的是证明表明，也可以是显示或是示范的意思。举例来说 Hubert demonstrated how the laptop worked. Hubert 展示了这台笔电如何运作。又或者说 You must demonstrate to your teacher that you deserve a good grade. 你必须向你的老师证明你值得一个好成绩。
Welcome back. Part 1, we learned about everyday people. You can be a superhero, but you can also get hurt.
That's absolutely true.
And today we're talking about the actor Jeremy Renner, who is famous for playing the guy with the bow and arrow in Marvel.
Yeah.
Okay, but he's done a lot of different things.
He has. That says, though he has portrayed Hawkeye for over a decade, first appearing as the character in 2011's Thor, Renner hasn't always played superheroes. So that might be what he's most well known for, certainly with younger people. He's been in these Marvel movies for a long time, like Captain America Civil War and things like that. So he's played or portrayed this character, this superhero character Hawkeye. When you portray someone, it's basically an actor doing the job of being a character. So you're playing that character, you're portraying that character. You could say he's acting as, but this is a pretty common term. We could often say Daniel Craig portrayed James Bond for 4 or 5 James Bond films or something like that. Daniel Radcliffe famously portrayed Harry Potter in the Harry Potter movies when he was a young man. So he played Hawkeye for over a decade, for more than 10 years, first appearing as the character way back in 2011's Thor. But he hasn't always played superheroes. He had a life as a working actor before he got hooked up with the Marvel film franchise.
In fact, the actor has more than 30 films to his name.
Wow.
Not to mention numerous TV shows.
Really?
Okay, so not only has he done all the Marvel movies, he's actually done a lot of films. So when you have something to someone's name, it's basically when you are showing a number of things that you have done. You've achieved or accomplished a certain amount of things, so you have something to your name. And for him, he's had more than 30 different movies that he's done, and this doesn't even include the TV shows that he's been in.
Yeah, very, very cool. Very long career. Many of Renner's films, including hits like The Hurt Locker, The Bourne Legacy, and Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, have showcased his ability to take on intense and action-packed roles. That's what most of us would know him as an actor, in movies like that, action movies, war movies, spy movies, superhero movies. For example, The Hurt Locker, which was about soldiers in Iraq, The Bourne Legacy, which is that kind of American spy thriller franchise, Mission Impossible with, of course, Tom Cruise. He's been in several of those. And these have showcased his ability to take on intense action-packed roles. When you're thinking of rom-coms, you might not think of Jeremy Renner, but when you think of action movies, his name definitely will pop into your head because he gets these skills to act in these movies showcased. If something is showcased, it's kind of featured. It's kind of showed off in its best form, in its best way. If you're a company and you have a really good new product that you are sure will beat the competitions and will attract a lot of new customers at a trade show or in your advertising, you'll showcase that. You'll yes, we're that company and here's our newest thing and it's amazing and you're going to love it and we're really proud of it and we want you to pay attention to it. So to showcase something is to kind of show it off in its best way with its best abilities and best attributes right up front. And his ability in this case is to take on intense and action-packed roles. To take on basically means he does these jobs even if they're quite challenging, physically and in other ways, because they're very intense. If something is intense, it's really powerful. It's not kind of just being a little bit of a lazy actor. It's not sort of just sitting around and delivering your lines. He's running around, he's jumping, he's getting hurt, he's sweaty, he's being blown up. He's doing all of these exciting things that action movie stars do. And of course, because these are action-packed roles. This is not Shakespeare, where he's sitting around just talking about his feelings in fancy language. No, he's doing roles that are very physical. We would often call these physical acting jobs in action movies.
Other movies that he's been in, such as Tag and American Hustle,
Oh, yeah.
they have demonstrated that Jeremy Renner also has a clear capacity for comedy.
Interesting.
Okay, so not only is he a very good action star, he can also do other types of roles that are funny, or maybe one day we can see him in a rom-com. Who knows?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, these other types of movies like Tag and American Hustle, they have demonstrated, or they are able to show clearly Jeremy Renner's ability to act in lots of different types of genres, and it shows that he has clear capacity or the ability or power to do something. In this case, he has the ability or the skill to do comedy. And basically, comedy is when you are performing for an audience and the intention is to be funny. You want to make people laugh. So while we see him running around as Hawkeye, or even in war movies like Hurt Locker, when he wants to make us laugh, he can still make us laugh.
There you go. He can do both drama and comedy. Those are the two sort of main forms of acting and performing on the stage in plays and whatnot. He's good at both. So let's check out the third and final part of the article. But acting is just one of Renner's many talents. At the start of his acting career, he worked as a makeup artist for 8 years to support himself while waiting for his big break. More recently, when he's not busy starring in major motion pictures, Renner has shown his versatility by fixing up homes and pursuing a successful side job as a singer and songwriter.
第三部分介绍名词 versatility， 意思是多才多艺，或是具有多种用途。例如Ivy's versatility as an actress allows her to play any role. Ivy 作为一名女演员的多才多艺，使她能扮演任何角色。最后一个句子 The chef's versatility was evident from the variety of cuisines she mastered. 这位厨师的多才多艺，从他精通的各种菜系中可见一斑。
All right, we are back. So we're still talking about Jeremy Renner. Not only is he great at running around shooting guns, shooting bows and arrows, being blown up in action movies, he can also make you laugh in things like Tag and American Hustle. That was kind of a drama with some comedy elements, right?
Or sometimes they'll say like a dramedy.
A dramedy, yeah. I would say American Hustle, don't watch it for the laughs. Watch it for the good acting and the really interesting story. But there are a few laughs in there too. But as we get to the third part of the article, we learn about a whole other arrow in Jeremy Renner's quiver. You know, quiver is like a collection of arrows. He's Hawkeye. A whole other skill in his skill set is what I'm talking about. But acting is just one of Renner's many talents. So it's not the only thing that he is good at. He is talented in many other areas. At the start of his acting career, he worked as a makeup artist for 8 years to support himself while waiting for his big break.
Wow.
I always said he had nice skin.
That's pretty awesome.
Maybe that's because of his makeup skills. So he worked as a makeup artist. Who knew that? Clearly, this is not a skill that most Hollywood actors have. They have makeup artists to do that for them. They can't do it themselves like Jeremy Renner can, but clearly he was good at it. He did it for 8 years as his job to support himself or to get himself money while going out, doing auditions, trying out for different parts in films and TV, waiting for his big break, waiting for that big opportunity that got him attention. And if it didn't work out, I guess he'd still be a makeup artist.
You have to be good to be a makeup artist for either stage, TV, or films.
For sure.
And also, makeup artists, they have really good skill that they have to learn. So it's really impressive that not only does he have the skill of acting, but he can also do makeup.
Yeah, it makes me think maybe he started in the theater, because often in theater you have to do your own makeup. If you're doing really low-budget stuff, you're doing it for the passion, and you're like, I'll just learn how to do that because I really want to do this job. So good for him.
Well, let's see what else he can do. More recently, when he's not busy starring in major motion pictures, Renner has shown his versatility by fixing up homes and pursuing a successful side job as a singer and songwriter. He does everything.
Wow. Impressive. I feel very lazy all of a sudden. So he clearly has a lot of versatility. If you have versatility, you are versatile or versatile, as some people would say. You have a lot of different abilities. You can easily sort of shift between jobs. If you have versatility in the kitchen, that means you can make many types of food. You can do desserts, you can do soups, you can do main courses, that kind of thing. If you have versatility as a musician, I can play the piano, I can play the guitar, I can play the drums, I can play the saxophone, that kind of thing. I am very flexible, I am very skilled in many ways, and some of these things he was doing as a side job.
Well, we've learned a lot about all the things that Jeremy Renner can do. We're going to find out more about him in tomorrow's episode, but first, let's listen to our Chinese teacher.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。课文一开始写到 According to a common saying, not all heroes wear capes. 俗话说，并不是所有的英雄都穿着披风。那我们知道，大多数的超级英雄都有穿着披风的形象，而这句话就是用来形容有些人虽然不具有超能力，却能在困难时展现出令人赞赏的勇气或善行。好，那么课文句子的前半句，它用到片语介系词 according to， 我们来整理它的不同意思。第一个呢是课文的用法，表达根据什么所说，依照什么所记载。那么后面可以接人或事物，用来说明来源或出处。例如 According to the article, teenagers should get 9 to 10 hours of sleep per night. 根据那篇文章，青少年每晚需要9到10小时的睡眠。好，那么第二个呢，我们可以用 according to 来表达依照什么什么指示，后面常常会接规则啊，或是说明，像是 Ian put the toy together according to the directions on the box. Ian 按照盒子上的说明，把玩具组装起来。那第三个呢，我们可以用 according to 去表达取决于什么，根据什么而定，后面常常会接某一种分类评量的标准，像是 She reorganized her closet according to color. 她根据颜色重新整理了衣柜。好，那么课文第二部分介绍了 Jeremy Renner 的影视作品，他的许多电影都展现了他扮演激烈和情节紧张刺激的角色的能力。那文中用到片语动词 take on 去表达扮演、接演的意思。这边我们就顺便来整理 take on 的几种不同用法。第一个呢是课文的用法，可以表达接下，可能像是接下工作啊、角色、责任、挑战等等，或者是可以表达开始从事、承担、接受什么什么。take on 在这边是做及物用，后面通常就会接事物来当受词。好，第二个用法我们可以用 take on 表达呈现、显示出，那后面也是接事物当受词来表达呈现出新面貌，或者是带有某种特质或外观。像 take on a different atmosphere 是表达呈现出不同的氛围。第三个呢，可以用 take on 表达雇用，那后面是接人当受词。例如 They agreed to take him on as an assistant. 他们同意雇用他做助理。好，那么第四个呢，可以用 take on 表达接受什么挑战，与什么竞争较量。例如 The team will take on last year's champion this Saturday. 那支队伍将于本周六迎战去年的冠军。好，那么以上见重点整理，我们回顾见单字吧。
Apt. Jane's manager praised her for her apt response to the customer's request. Franchise. The Harry Potter franchise includes more than a dozen books and films. Portray. In his next movie, the actor will portray a soldier trying to survive the horrors of war. Intense. Our football team has been engaged in intense training to prepare for the first game of the season. Demonstrate. It is hoped that the experiment will demonstrate the effectiveness of the new drug. Capacity. Considering her young age, Ella has an amazing capacity for understanding advanced scientific concepts. Comedy. The comedy show had the audience roaring with laughter from start to finish. Well, that brings us to the end of another edition of our program, and please make sure you join us again next time. From all of us here, I am Mike.
I am Kiki.
See you next time.